everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're back with the Dell Inspiron 11 3000 series because a lot of people have been asking about higher-end 4K video files as well as 1080p 60 video files on these low-cost devices. And I figured I would do a video just about the differences between the Edge browser and Chrome on low-cost PCs. And for most people, when they buy one of these things, they're not really looking to play back those kind of image formats, most consumers, which, by the way, make up about 90% of my viewership. So I don't often get into the weeds on things like this, but I figured it would be good and useful to kind of see what's going on right now with how Chrome performs on low-cost PCs versus the Edge browser, and why I often show browsing on Edge versus Chrome. And this is going to be a great example of that. So what I've done here is I have pulled up a video from my YouTube channel. This is a 4K video file played as its full 4K video mode, but of course being scaled down to our display. So what's happening right now is this is playing back very smoothly. We've been running here with no drop frames, very smooth frame rate, as you can see, running at the full 30 frames per second, even though we are looking at the 3840 by 2160 file. It is, of course, scaling it down to our display size. And the reason why this is playing back so well is that these little Intel chips inside these cheap PCs are actually optimized for playing back video, and the browser takes advantage of that. Now, if we boot up Chrome and kill Edge and play back the same video file here already queued up, you'll see the playback experience is very, very different. In fact, we're dropping almost half the frames as we're trying to play this back. It's completely unwatchable. This same experience occurs when you're playing back 1080p 60 frames per second files also. And really, again, for most people, what's going to happen is that YouTube is going to pick the right video file to display for their particular display size. But you can see the difference here between having something optimized for these Intel chips versus something that isn't. And what we found on the Chromebooks that are running with Intel processors, they have this very same problem as well. So this is going to be something that when you're on one of these cheap PCs, I actually recommend running the Edge browser because it is better optimized for a low-cost PC without a lot of RAM and without a lot of processor power. So that is that's why I run Edge on these things and not some other browser. And I don't do Firefox and all the other things like out there like Opera or whatever, because most consumers just don't run those things. They're going to buy these things, they're going to boot them up, they're not going to take the McAfee junkware off, they're going to load up Edge browser and get going. And I want to relay what that experience is like when someone does buy one of these things. I do, though, when I do my Octane benchmark tests, I do run those tests in Chrome so we can get a real apples-to-apples comparison across every computer we test here on the channel. And pretty soon I'm going to put up those results as a big, huge spreadsheet so you can scroll through and see exactly how everything compares to each other. Now, in fairness for the Firefox fans, I also am testing that same file here on Firefox. You can see it started and then stopped completely. In fact, it locks up the browser a couple more times than it actually plays back the video file. When it does manage to play it back, we are getting as many drop frames on Firefox as we are on Chrome. So if you are looking to play back higher-end video formats through your web browser on YouTube or other video playback locations, you are going to see issues when you're using other browsers that are not the Edge browser. So Edge does kind of have the edge, especially on Chrome and Firefox at the moment, which is why when I do these reviews, I show that browser because I think that's really where consumers are going to go when they buy these things and boot them up for the first time. And they really do run better on low-cost hardware. So hopefully that answers some questions from folks out there as to why I kind of stick with Edge when I do these reviews, because I think Edge does really show what these computers are capable of, especially as it involves video playback versus some of the other browsers. The same experience here, by the way, is what you'll see with 1080p 60 frames per second video. Edge plays it back very smoothly. The other browsers at the moment don't. So I'll update this video if things change and those browsers do optimize for these chips, but right now they don't. This is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the generosity of my Patreon supporters. If you find the channel helpful, you too can contribute for as little as $1 a month. Visit Lon.TV/Patreon to learn more.